Why na dia? Okay, I'll continue with number 5. Still with fill in the blanks. Number 6. The number of units of a foreign currency needed to acquire 1 unit of the domestic currency is referred to as indirect quotation. Indirect quotation of the exchange rate. Number 7, the number of units of a domestic currency needed to acquire 1 unit of the foreign currency is referred to as direct quotation of the exchange rate. So you try to distinguish between number 6 and number 7. Number 8, exchange rates that are determined by market conditions are termed as floating fee. Floating fee. Or you have your number 8 is still termed as floating fee. Or you have your floating rates. Okay? The exchange rate for immediate delivery of currencies exchange is the spot rate. Number 10, the primary long-term purpose or the primary long-term cause of exchange rate changes is attributable to differential rates. Differential rates of inflation. The primary long-run cause of exchange rate changes is attributable to differential rates of inflation. Number 11, a theory that explains long-run changes in exchange rates is purchasing power parity. A theory that explains long-run changes in exchange rates is called purchasing power parity theory. Purchasing power parity theory. Number 12, when a transaction is to be settled by the receipt or payment of a fixed amount of a specified currency, the receivable or payable, respectively, is said to be denominated in that currency. 13, a party to a foreign transaction measures and records the transaction in the currency of the country in which the party is located. So number 13, measures. When a domestic exporter is to receive payment in a foreign currency at a date later than the transaction date. The domestic exporter is said to be in a or an exposed asset position. Is said to be in an exposed asset position. Exposed asset position. Number 15. When a domestic importer is to make payment in a foreign currency at a date later than the transaction date, the domestic importer is said to be an exposed liability position. So it's exposed asset for a domestic exporter. It will be exposed liability for a domestic importer. Next, number 16, the date at which a transaction to import or sell inventory is recorded is called the transaction date. 16 again, the date at which a transaction is said or to import or sell inventory is recorded is called the transaction date. So it's called the transaction date. 17. In settling foreign currency transaction, companies usually use bank wire transfers. Bank wire, wire transfers. Bank wire, wire, W-I-R-E. Bank wire transfers. Bank wire transfers. Okay? Now let's go to true or false. In number 1, international accounting standards are promulgated by the International Organization of Securities Commissioners. Number 1 is false. Supposed to be by the International Accounting Standards Board. So number 1 is false. Number 2, U.S. accounting standards currently do not comply with international accounting standards in all areas in general. Yes, because U.S., as I have mentioned earlier, do not even apply in some cases international accounting standards or the IFRS because they still stick to the US GAAP. Now, that's one problem if you are dealing with companies in the US. So we have number 2 is true. 3, in general, international accounting standards are more demanding than U.S. accounting standards. False, because U.S. Standards are more demanding. So, not the international accounting standards. In fact, U.S. companies do not even apply in some cases international standards, but they are still allowed to do it. So number 3 is false. Number 4, in general, U.S. accounting standards are more stringent than international accounting standards. Number 4 is true. Number 5, it is a major effort to bring a U.S. company's financial statements into compliance with international accounting standards. Number 5 is false. It is not a major effort. Okay, because U.S. companies are just allowed to present the statements in accordance with the U.S. GAAP. 6. The process of actually changing one currency into another currency is called translation. False. Okay? So it's not. Number 6 is false. 7, the number of units of the foreign currency needed to acquire 1 unit of the domestic currency, the Philippine peso, is referred to as indirect quotation of the exchange rate. So number 7 is true. Number 8, the number of units of the domestic currency needed to acquire 1 unit of the foreign currency is referred to as indirect. So, number 7 is true. Number 8 is false. Number 9, to determine the Philippine peso equivalent for an amount stated in a foreign currency, multiply the foreign currency by the direct exchange rate. So number 9 is true. Number 10, to determine the Philippine peso equivalent of an amount stated in foreign currency, multiply the foreign currency by the indirect exchange rate. So, since number 9 is true, 10 is false. 11, a foreign currency is strengthening. As a result, the indirect exchange rate will decrease. So a foreign currency is strengthening. As a result, the indirect exchange rate will decrease. In number 11, true. Number 12, a foreign currency is weakening. As a result, the indirect exchange rate will decrease. Number 12 is false. Number 13, the Philippine peso is weakening. As a result, the direct exchange rate will increase. So number 13 is true, 14 is false. 13 is true, 14 is false. 15, floating rates and forward rates mean different things. Floating rates and forward rates mean different things. 15 is true. 16, uh, fixed rates and forward rates mean the same thing. So number 16 is false. 17, denominated means the currency in which settlement must be made. Means the currency in which settlement must be made. So number 17 is true. 18, importing and exporting transactions are always measured in one currency and denominated in a different currency. 18 is false. 19, an importing transaction is initially recorded on the books at the order or commitment date. So an importing transaction is initially recorded on the books at the order or at the commitment date. So again, 19 is false. Number 20, in importing and exporting transactions, the transaction date and the settlement date can never coincide. Number 20 is false. Number 21, importing and exporting transactions, bank wire transfers must be used. In importing and exporting transactions, bank wire transfers must be used. Number 21 is false. 22, for foreign currency transactions, the IASB or the International Accounting Standards Board adopted the two transaction perspective, not the one transaction perspective, which is true. Number 23, adjusting foreign currency receivables and payables to the spot rate and intervening financial reporting date is essentially current value accounting. So number 23 is true. 24, under the one transaction perspective, the existence of intervening financial reporting dates between the transaction date and the settlement date is irrelevant. False. Number 25, under the two transaction perspective, changes in the exchange rate between the transaction date and the settlement date would not result in an adjustment to the amount initially recorded as a sale in an exporting transaction. Number 25 is true. Okay, I'll just give you the answers up to the end of true or false. So number 26 is false. 26 false. 27 false. 28 false. So 27 false. 28 false. 29 true. 30 false, 31 true, 32 false, 33 false, 34 true, 35 false, 36 false, 37 true, 38 false, 39 true, and 40 true. 41 false, 42 true, 43 false, 44 true, 45 true. Okay, now you try to review on the true or false statements and again find out if there are statements that whose answers are wrong. Okay? Since I've given you all the answers there. Then we go to the multiple choice questions. We go to the multiple choice questions. Okay. In number 46. 46, the impetus behind the move to upgrade international accounting standards has recently come from. So number 46, the impetus behind the move to upgrade international accounting standards has recently come from. Amo niya ang International Organization of Securities Commission. However, they do not promulgate international accounting standards. So, number 46 is boy. Which of the following is false concerning Philippine GAAP relative to U.S. GAAP countries in general? Which of the following is false? Number 47. Boy, U.S. GAAP requires more detailed information for interim financial reporting. US GAAP requires more detailed, not so detailed. Number 47 is boy. 48, actually changing one currency into another currency is called conversion. No. Number, it's just 48 is measuring. Changing one currency into another currency is called measuring. Next, number 49. 49, if one currency units can be exchanged for 1.50 of Philippine currency, what fraction should be used to compute the indirect quotation of the exchange rate expressed in foreign currency unit? If one foreign currency unit can be exchanged for 1 peso and 50 centavos of Philippine currency, what fraction should be used to compute the indirect quotation of the exchange rate expressed in foreign currency unit? So number 49, we divide 1 by 1.50. 1 divided by 1.50. Next, number 50, to express 1,000 foreign currency units in pesos, it is necessary to multiply the 1,000 foreign currency units by the direct exchange rate. So we have now number 50, letter D. Next, number 51. The process of expressing amounts stated in one currency in terms of another currency by using appropriate current exchange rate is called letter C. So you have now the translation process. Next, number 52, floating exchange rates are also referred to as free rates. Floating exchange rates are also referred to as free rates. So number 52 is A. Number 53, exchange rates determined by market conditions are commonly referred to as floating rates. Determined by market conditions. So 53 is A. 54, which of the following exchange rates does not fit under the floating exchange rate system? You have your official rates. Which of the following exchange rates does not fit under the floating exchange rates system? So number 54 is D as in boy, no? 54. D or official rates. 55. In the long run, exchange changes and exchange rates can best be attributed to differential rates of inflation. Differential rates of inflation. In the long run, changes in exchange rates can best be attributed to differential rates of inflation. 56. Which of the following items is not a cause that affects the price of a currency in either the short run or the long run. Now, we have the purchasing power parity theory. Number 56 is letter D. 57, a domestic company having importing and exporting transactions involving credit and requiring settlement in foreign currency will hope that the direct exchange rate, letter C, increases for exporting transactions and decreasing for importing transactions. So number 57 is C. Next, 58. In unhedged importing or exporting transactions, which of the following dates is not a date having any accounting significance insofar as amounts reportable to stockholders? In unhedged importing or exporting transactions, which of the following dates is not a date having any accounting significance insofar as the amounts reportable to stockholders? So number 58 is D, the commitment date. Number 59, in for unhedged importing and exporting transactions involving credit and requiring settlement in foreign currency, which of the following dates would never be of concern or have accounting significance? So number 59 is letter A. It's the forward rate date. Next, number 60, for importing transactions denominated in a foreign currency, any change in the exchange rate between the transaction date and any intervening financial reporting date is reported as. So we have number 60 is letter C. A gain or loss in the current income statement. 61, for importing and exporting transactions, recognizing in the income statement FX transaction gains or losses resulting from adjustments made at intervening financial reporting dates is consistent with the one transaction perspective. Now, in number 62, a domestic exporter has foreign currency receivables. The exporter's risk exposure is that the direct exchange rate will decrease. So in 62 again, a domestic exporter has foreign currency receivables. The exporter's risk exposure is that the direct exchange rate will decrease in number 62. So you get letter B. Next, number 63. A domestic importer whose transactions are in a foreign currency has risk exposure that the foreign currency will strengthen. So number 63 is A. Number 64, in a bank wire transfer, which of the following occurs? In number 64, the result is that the two banks involved create a payable and receivable between each other So number 64 is letter C. Number 65, concerning importing and exporting transactions, which of the following statements is false? Letter C for number 65. When a domestic company has a gain or loss as a result of adjusting a foreign currency receivable or payable, the foreign company will have the opposite result. So number 65 is letter C. Okay? Again, I'm going to give you the answers to the rest of the multiple choice, 66 up to 100 for the theory. Number 66 is dog. 66 dog, 67C, 68C, 69 boy, 70 dog, 70 dog, 71 dog, 72 C, 73 boy, 74 A, 75 C, 76 boy, 77A, 78 dog, 79 boy, 80 dog, 81 boy, 81 boy, 82 dog, 83 dog, 84 C, 85 dog, 86 dog, 87, 88, 89. 87, 88, 89. Boy. 7, 88, 89. Boy. 90 dog. 91 C. 92 A. 93 A. 94 dog. Number 5, 95 C. 96 boy. 97 A. 98 dog. 99 C. 100 dog. 100 dog. Okay? Now will you refer to the multiple choice problems? There are a lot of multiple choice problems. We have this up to number 68. I'm going to begin with number 1 up to whatever I can reach, and then I will just give you the multiple choice letters. So anyway, let's try to finish all if we can. Then if you cannot, then I'll give you the letter answers. So in number 1, if 1 Canadian dollar can be exchanged for 90 cents of Philippine peso, what transaction should be used to compute the indirect quotation of the exchange rate expressed in Canadian dollars? So we have now a numerator, okay, 1 Canadian dollar, numerator 1 Canadian dollar divided by 0.90 divided by 1.90. So, 1 Canadian dollar divided by 0.90 That's letter C. Next, number 2, Didi Incorporated, the Philippine company, bought machine parts from a foreign country on March 1, 2004 for 30,000 foreign currency units when the spot rate was 0.4895. Didi's year-end was March 31 when the spot rate was 0.4845. On April 20, X5, Didi paid the liability with 30,000 FCU at a rate of 0.4945. Didi's income statement, nag-end na, 10 minutes pa. Didi's income statement should report a foreign exchange gain or the years ended March 31, 20x4 and 20x5 of. So we now have the two columns, 20x4 and 20x5. First, under the column 20x4, we multiply 0.4895 times 30,000 foreign currency units. So 0.4895 times 30,000. In 20x4 column, we have 14,685 pesos. 14,685 pesos. Next, we multiply 0.4845 times 30,000. 0.4845 times 30,000 is 14,535. 14,535. So the difference is actually a gain equal to 150. So the gain is 150. That is in 20x4. In 20x5, first we multiply 0.4845 times 30,000. 0.4845 times 30,000 equals 14,535 and compare it with 0.4945 times 30,000. We get 14,835. So 14,535 and 14,835, we have a loss equal to 300. We have a loss equal to 300. So the answer to number 2 is letter D. Next, number 3, Detroit-based auto